Afternoon all, hope you guys are well. Currently Sunday afternoon here, enjoying a nice bowl of Samuel Gawith full Virginia flake in my H-Pipes billiard. This pipe's a great smoker, really good. So, the point of today's video is about the future, shall we say. As you know, most people who are part of the YTPC have heard of cellaring tobacco, and a lot of people just know what it means and what it involves pretty much. We are cellaring our favourite blends. People sell their tobacco to age, as do I, and people also sell their tobacco because we know that doomsday will arrive at some point for the tobacco, but also for the brands and blends we love. If you take Orlick, for example, any day STG, who produce Orlick, could go bust. It's unlikely because they're, I think, the biggest tobacco company in the world. But you have no idea what's around the corner for anything or anyone. It's not just about the laws on tobacco and the prices and taxes. It could also just be down to the manufacturers. I mean, with a lot of other people that Germain's is one of their favourite manufacturers. Germain's, I've probably got the deepest amount in my cellar, mainly featuring Special Ikea Flake and the Rich Dark Flake. They're my two favourite blends from them. And I've got a decent amount of tins of each, or at least as much as I can just now. But they could go tomorrow, and if you take Jermaine's sense, it isn't like when McClellan, I know, went bust. Oh, sorry, I take that back, didn't go bust, but they pulled out the market. They were still stock it online in shops, and people were able to buy up what they could. Whereas, as everyone knows, if Jermaine's went bust, or if Jermaine's shut shop, you have what you have, and that's it, because it's never in stock, because they produce in small quantities. But the point of today is to go past tobacco and do this. And you might be thinking, why have you got pipe clearers, pipe matches and pipe fillers? Well, I was inspired by one of Brian Levine's podcasts, Pipe Magazine radio show. And when he talked about how he's got about a master case of pipe cleaners, I can't remember what brand it was, I think maybe BG Long. But yeah, he's got a master case, which master cases are typically 50, 60 or 100. So that's in cigar terms, but I'm assuming a master case of pipe cleaners would be 50 or 100 packs. And he made a good point. And it's something that I'd never thought. I thought about tobacco, but I never thought about that. He says, and he makes a good point, that it's very well, if everything goes downhill, you have in your pipes and your tobacco. But if you don't have a pipe cleaner, then how are you going to clean your pipes? Because he made the point that I agree that yes, pipe cleaners will always be a thing, because you can go to an arts and crafts store, buy pipe cleaners, but those pipe cleaners aren't designed for pipes. You also pay a lot more for them, and the quality of them just won't be as good as regular pipe cleaners. So that was something that I took on board, and I applied it to more things, in the sense that for me and for a lot of pipe smokers these days that smoke filtered pipes, it's pipe filters. Because if you can only really smoke a pipe with a filter, if one day, for example, who makes this, if Vaughan or Dr. Pearl produced these, if they went out of business, then these would go off the shelves again overnight because people were panicking. And you'd be in dark waters, because if you can only smoke a pipe with a filter and you can't get your hands on filters, then what are you going to do? That was something, so kind of from then, I've kind of thought about it in depth and thinking, right, if I want to keep smoking throughout the rest of my life, what do I need? Obviously you need the tobacco, but a lot of people overlook the fact that you would like to have other things. Again, pipe matches here. Again, you'll always have pipe matches. So sorry, you always have matches, but there's just something nice about having these pipe matches. They're slightly longer than regular matches. And again, this manufacturer could go. You would struggle to find them. Although the matches on one hand, they're kind of not as important because you will always be able to have lighters and matches. Fair enough, pipe lighters may eventually go bust, as in the sense that if there's no more pipe tobacco getting produced, then there's obviously not much demand for pipe lighters. But I think that's the least of everyone's worries. But yeah, it's just kind of food for thought. Like, we're all selling tobacco, we've all got our favourite pipes. But what happens if the accessories and kind of accoutrement to pipe smoking goes? Because if there's a massive decline in pipe tobacco, then there's also less demand for these things. And I think the biggest one for me personally is the filters, because I struggle to smoke a pipe without a filter these days. Certain blends I would be able to, but anything that's like any straight Virginia, like full Virginia flake, I just wouldn't have a chance. I'd just get bitten too much. So yeah, it's kind of, obviously filters aren't cheap, and I'm not saying to go out and buy 10,000 filters tomorrow, but I'm saying if you, for example, if you're buying these kind of packs of 10, they come in boxes of 4, a box with 4 of them. If you buy a box, then say you buy a box every month, if you maybe just buy an extra box each month and put that away, it's just kind of it's kind of just saving yourself for the future. Because that is something that, when the big decline in tobacco is, these are one of the things that will go first, because manufacturers of this will just not produce them, because if they aren't getting enough sales, then that will be one of the first things to go. Again, pipe cleaners and matches are obviously one thing, but I'd highly recommend for any filtered pipe smoker to slowly start just putting the odd box away here and there. Again, kind of best before date, I don't really know. Would these tarnish much over time? What's the kind of shelf life for these? It's obviously, it will be years and years and years. Will it be decades? I'm not sure, I couldn't tell you. I think that's something to do for more research, to kind of get in contact with the manufacturer. Because like on the boxes, it doesn't say a best before or anything, such like that. But it is something to keep in mind. So with that was a post. I had to answer the door. Might be at a slightly different angle. But yeah, to just follow on, keep selling tobacco as we are, but if you're a filter smoker, or definitely if you're a wet pipe smoker and you smoke a non-filtered pipe, and you go through a number of pipe cleaners each bowl, then that is also something to think about. Just, yeah, one of those things that I never really thought about until I heard that episode of the podcast, and him saying that he's got kind of a master case, so 50, 100, 150 packs of pipe cleaners. You think that's a bit mental, but then when you go into it, it's not. Obviously a lot of people can't afford to go and buy a master case of pipe cleaners. But if you could, then I suppose, obviously if you buy that way in bulk, it'll be much cheaper. But yeah, so there's kind of food for thought. definitely opened my eyes when I heard that and kind of dove more into it and kind of what I need personally to last me through without side of the tobacco itself, being filters, pipe cleaners, and for just because I enjoy them, pipe matches. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that one. As you can see, much cleaner workspace. I've went through a cleaner workshop today after finishing yesterday's pipe, which is, yeah, really happy with that pipe. It came out really well. Just working on these ashtrays, the big beasts, 2 of them. But I think I did say it's a whole briar barrel cut in half. At each side it turned into a cigar ashtray. Each of them have 3 cigar rests, 3-person ashtray. So designed more for kind of, well, these are going to a shop, these are going to a cigar shop in London, which I think they will be used as kind of table slash desktop ashtrays, which multiple people will use. So yeah, hope you're all well, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.